Hey everybody. Today's episode is going to be really mixed. I had a friend of mine had a lot of herbs in his garden and he wanted to know, well, I have them all, what do I do with them? So that's one. Another friend of mine was diving through some old books and he heard mention about oatmeal waffles. It's an old Scottish story. So I said, I could probably do that. And third, a friend of mine wanted a sausage recipe, and today's episode is all about preserving stuff and what to do with abundant stuff. So I'm going to do something with some sausage. Let's go. Okay, so here I am nestled in the oregano. You see it's all starting to bud now, so I think it's going to be a good time to start harvesting. So how do we go about this? Well, it's early in the morning. The cicadas are singing away. You get a good pair of scissors. You cut it right around the lower part of the stem here. And then tie them all up and dry them the old-fashioned way. One way to preserve your herbs. Okay, and right here you see the savory is starting to get these nice little pretty pink flowers. That's a sign it's time to start to harvest them. Have plenty for the winter time. All we have to do now is you take a piece of string, make a nice little loop, tighten it around the base of where you cut, and then you hang it upside down for about 3 to 4 days in a shady area. Eventually it'll dry up. As soon as it feels crispy, then you just scrunch it, filter it, and you have your herbs for the winter. Now that's a lot of savory I've got growing in the driveway, but it will be put to good use. Just remember, you can blend it with other herbs and spices. Just make use of what you have. One way of preserving your food is just by drying it. Here we have good old chopped up mushrooms, put in the dehydrator for about 10 to 12 hours. This concentrates the flavor. They can be made into a powder. Extremely strong mushroom flavor and aroma. Well worth doing it if you have them. They're abundant this summer, and I said, I'm gonna do it. Now this is a fermented waffle. What do I mean by this? Well, we let it soak overnight in hot water for 24 hours, and this allows for the beta-glucans, the fiber, the starch, everything to be rendered more digestible. It's better for you. You should try it. There are two kinds of waffles, naturally fermented and chemically fermented. This one is natural. I'm using a sourdough culture, and the yeast will cause it to rise. The chemical ones will use baking powder, and that will cause it to rise. Here I'm adding some eggs to bind it, and a little bit of fat to make sure that it doesn't stick to the waffle iron. Now, insofar as flour is concerned, just add enough to get it to the right thickness that you want. More flour for thicker, less flour for thinner. So mix it all together, bake it for 5 minutes, and you get it crispy. The dried mushrooms we made earlier are going to be used in this particular dish. So what we do is we add hot water to them to release the flavor, make them a little more malleable, and they won't be all crunchy in your mouth when you eat it. Now in this dish, we need to keep the mushroom soaking liquid, so don't throw it out. We'll be using it later. And here we have some homemade saucisses de champagne that are sausages from the Champagne region of France, browning up in the pan right now. Just like in the braised beef episode, we've browned up our meat, and now we're going to deglaze it with some white wine, about half a cup. our white wine is almost entirely evaporated, we're going to add our hydrated mushrooms to the pan. Remember that mushroom liquid I told you to save? This is where we add it. Start off with about a cup. We're going to add this all to the pan, and we're going to let it reduce down, concentrate in flavor. Now it's just a question of letting that liquid reduce down, but not fully evaporate, then we're ready to eat. An old-fashioned waffle, sausage and mushrooms, and a soft poached egg. I think it works. Like, share, subscribe. See you soon.